having a fantastic year? That's great. I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, 6:55, but we live is still
I
trying
had a
to
student
get her
guy
computer quiet
saying
because I was so bad.
something about an assignment that was made, and I give them an and I said, and I said, I'm not sure why you. It turned out it was Mrs. Gibson.
Oh, I'm in the wrong seat.
Never
It's not too bad. I was thinking Vicky was there, and then as soon as he sat down, I'm like,
I'm not sure I have the authority to extend your assignment.
Did you say no? Or no, 10 days. 10 days. Of vacation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Just as a little like thing to give them.
Otherwise, I'm going to forget.
And we aren't giving them healthcare.
Well, it needs to be on the October board folder, so he's trying to get it. Because I know they are through the process. So they always audition and there's a hope of, but then it's always pending board approval, right? Yeah, they do. Yeah. It also gives them, if they audition for a show and realize they don't have somebody who can sing the lead, then they're like, no, we gotta do something.
Yeah, this year I think they have the exact opposite problem.
Yes.
Yeah, they all usually.
Have to get out. I just have to. You know. I always have to look up because they make us change our password. I have to look up what my password is every time. If they didn't make us change it, I would have been fine.
Great race now. How are you? Good. It's past Saturday.
You were gonna take that.
So no. You are running on Sunday? Oh, good. Yeah.
Just checking now. She wasn't a minute ago. She's on. She's on.
Quite early today.
Hi, everyone.
It's nice to see a large crowd.
I call to order the September 25th, 2024 meeting of the North Allegheny School Board. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, I want to verify that Dr. Simkowiak has been able to log in remotely and that we can hear her and she can hear us.
I am logged in. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Dr. Simkowiak. I don't know if you have board docs open, but even if you vote on board docs, we need to have you vote by roll call because you are attending electronically.
Absolutely.
So I will move on to our calendar review now. We had an executive session this evening to discuss a personnel matter. We have our regular meeting this evening and our North Allegheny Foundation report. Next month on October 9th for our work session, we will be meeting at the A.W. Beatty Career Center. And we will have an emotional support review presentation that evening. And then our voting meeting will be on October 23rd, and we will have our enrollment and facilities report that evening. To kick off this evening's meeting, we will have our North Allegheny Foundation report. Dr. Highland.
As everyone knows, the foundation, the North Allegheny Foundation, gives a significant portion of money back to our students to make their experience and the school experience and their educational experience better. And tonight, we're pleased to have the North Allegheny Foundation give their annual report. I assume it's going to be Mr. Bowerly who's giving the report. Is that correct? And so at this time, I'm going to turn over the mic to Mr. Bowerly.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. All right, good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Joe Byerly. I'm the current chair of the North Allegheny Foundation Trustees. I'm pleased to join you to summarize the foundation's achievements for the 2023-24 school year. For those of you that may not know, the North Allegheny Foundation is committed to enhancing the educational experience of our students and supporting our teachers and schools. We pursue our mission through three primary activities: grant making, scholarships, and connecting with the community. Our impact in the 2023 school year, the foundation distributed over $66,000 in grants for innovative programming and student support, provided over $31,000 in scholarships for exceptional graduating seniors, and allocated $2,000 in EITC funding for STEM education initiatives. Additionally, we contributed over $2,000 in angel funds to assist students in need. Our 2023-24, in 2023, the foundation increased our giving to North Allegheny to $102,811, a 33% increase from 2022-23, primarily in a significant increase in grants. Our grants have funded various projects, including the Jungle Gym Ninja course at Ingomar Elementary, a printer for the Tiger Den at Nash, a sensory path at McKnight Elementary, and the robotics revolution at NAI. These grants have enriched the educational experience and provided students unique learning opportunities. The foundation's fundraising efforts have enabled us to offer 5 foundation annual scholarships recognizing excellence in academics, arts, leadership, service, and extra effort. We also manage and distribute funds for other scholarships as awarded to seniors at North Allegheny. We are proud to honor our distinguished alums who have significantly contributed to society and achieved outstanding professional accomplishments. These awards celebrate the diverse talents and achievements of our North Allegheny graduates. Our 4 primary events are the Golf Classic, Trick or Trot, which is, Bill, what's the date?
October 26th.
October 26th, Distinguished Alumni Gala, and Taste of NA. These events help bring our community together and support our mission. There are various ways to support the foundation, including the PA EITC program, employee giving, and individual donations. Contributions help us provide hands-on learning opportunities, support our teachers, and make a lasting impact on our students' educational experience. We're excited to welcome 3 new trustees this year, along with 2 or 3 continuing trustees. Their dedication and experience will be invaluable as trustees. In conclusion, thank you for your continued support of North Allegheny. Together, we make a difference in the lives of our students, our teachers, and our community. If anyone has any questions, comments?
Thank you, Mr. Byerly. Thank you for your support of our students. Does anyone have any comments or questions for Mr. Byerly? Mr. McClure?
I'll ask one. Having the golf outing earlier this week, I doubt that there's been time to come up with a net figure, but I saw some preliminary figures on that because I know it was had as many golfers as we could because it topped out, so that was awesome. So, but I got the sense that was bumping up on $90,000 gross, and I'm curious what the net will be, or if anybody has any estimate of that.
I think it was 105,000, and I think net 65 to 70.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That was a great event. So.
That's excellent news. Mrs. Blackburn?
So I was going to ask something similar, but the one comment I will make is that is so much higher than we have gotten in the years preceding now. So I think that's a phenomenal job. So I'm really, really thrilled that the foundation has done so much, because all of the monies you give directly benefit our kids and our district. So it's really important, and what a wonderful job to everybody. Thank you.
Mr. McClure?
I'll make one more comment. Since Dr. Simkowiak's not here, and that makes me the on point for the liaison to the foundation from the board, since I'm the alternate. I will throw down the gauntlet to the rest of this board to the next event is the trick or trot. And I know Mrs. Shaw and I are both running. I don't know if there's any other board members who have signed up yet, but even if you don't sign up and run, you can walk, or you can just come and volunteer, because it's a busy morning of getting everything together, and it's all done well before noon. So I'll ask the rest of the board to please support however they can. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McClure. I will add that you can sign up and make a donation to attend and not run. And I did that last year. And that is my, I may be following the band on their marching band this year, but I will be there for the band performance, and I will make my donation, but you will not get me to run.
And I'm guessing we're further ahead in that than we have been in previous years. Am I correct? 150 are registered at this time. So we are well in front of where we have been historically.
Excellent. Dr. Simkowiak?
Just one comment. People who are planning to make charitable donations have many options. I would like to point out that the overhead for the North Allegheny Foundation is extremely low compared to your other charitable giving options. Most of the money that you donate will go directly to benefit North Allegheny students and the North Allegheny community. It is a fantastic use of your money.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Simkowiak. Do any other board members have comments this evening? Dr. Gibbs?
Yeah, just very briefly, I want to thank you and the foundation for all that you do for the district. I think it's really wonderful, and I'm very thankful. With regards to the scholarships, I don't really know what the criteria are used for awarding scholarships. I imagine it has to do with achievement, exceptional achievement in various areas. It occurs to me there also, one of the things we hear about our district is that students that sort of fall in the middle kind of get lost a little bit. And I know there are students that overcome significant challenge, and while they may not achieve the same level of achievement as some that really excel tremendously, but given the challenges that they face and what they're able to accomplish is quite extraordinary. And I think that'd be nice if there's some way that we can recognize and reward those people as well. So I don't know. It's not a criticism. It's more of a comment and a question. So
it's understood. And I think some of the scholarships, the interesting thing about the scholarships and the way it works in the foundation are there are 5 that we completely control. And then all the rest are this kind of mixture of restricted funds where somebody wants to have a scholarship. They may set up the parameters for that scholarship. They may pick them, we pick some. I think the extra effort scholarship is one that fits into what you're thinking, but we could certainly look at potentially expanding that.
I agree. I believe the extra effort does fit a lot of the things that you're asking about, Dr. Gibbs. And you can probably go on their website and see what the criteria are for that scholarship. And I can't remember exactly what they are, but I think that is exactly what you're talking about. So they're already on top of it. Anyone else have any comments or questions? I just want to add to what everyone else said. Thank you so much for leading this organization, and thank you to all our trustees who are here in the audience. We really appreciate all you do for our students, and it's so exciting, whenever we have things in our school board report to approve, because that means our students are getting, that grant money is going towards things that are going to make our students' education better, and we really appreciate it.
Encourage people to apply for the grants. It's open now. We should approve them in late October and get them to you guys in November for board approval.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we move on to speakers on voting items. No one has pre-registered to speak this evening, but if anyone in the audience would like to come and speak on a voting item tonight, you can speak for up to 2 minutes. Is anyone here interested in speaking on a voting item only? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to our approval of the minutes. Ms. Hardy.
Thank you, Mrs. Warner. This evening, the board will vote to approve the minutes for the August 7th, 2024 meeting and the August 14th, 2024 meeting. And I so move.
Second.
Any comments on the minutes? Seeing none, we are ready for the vote. Dr. Simkowiak?
My vote is,
I'm sorry, Dr. Simkowiak, go ahead.
my vote is aye.
Thank you. Mrs. Blackburn, how would you like to vote?
Mine will be aye also. My
Thank you.
computer just turned off on its own.
The vote is closed and passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is our student activities report. Ms. Favor.
Thank you, Ms. Warner. There isn't a whole lot going on at NAI at the beginning of the year, but many of the clubs had successful tables at the freshman activity fair, and student council has been doing quite a bit with homecoming prep, staff appreciation, student appreciation, and the principal advisory committee. Yesterday, we held our first luncheon, and Dr. Highland was there. He got to see the student feedback and participate in sharing further solutions to issues that they had, and gave great feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Favor. Mr. Corona.
Thank you, Mrs. Warner. During the month of September, many clubs and organizations have begun their initial planning for the school year. On Friday, August 30th, Nash hosted the activities fair during all lunch periods. Students had the opportunity to visit various clubs in their booths and learn a little bit about their organization. The National Art Honor Society painted the windows at Nash to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Many clubs are preparing for their floats for the annual homecoming parade on Friday, October 18th. The homecoming dance preparations are underway by Nash Student Council. Our theme this year will be Cloud 9. I, too, got to host my first Principal's Advisory Luncheon for the 2024-25 school year on Friday, September 13th. Along with the Nash administrators, we met with a cross-section of students to hear their concerns and ideas. Finally, North Allegheny rowing team hosted its second annual Michael Bond alumni race on Saturday, September 21st. We had a great turnout of alumni from various different graduating classes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Corona. Since we went over our agenda 2 weeks ago at our work session, and there was no major points of discussion or anything that we needed to further discuss this evening, I am going to ask for a motion for a consent agenda this evening.
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank Thank you both. So now there were a few items that were new this week, and most of them were in the human resources folder. Oh, excuse me?
Do we have to vote? We have a
No,
motion?
we get the opportunity to discuss items before we
Okay.
vote. And so we do have a few new items from 2 weeks ago. So, and most of those were in your report, Ms. Britton Dozier. Would you like to go over some of those, what those items were?
Yes, please. Thank you, Mrs. Warner. I'd like to note that there are 3 new items in the HR folder this week that were not available for discussion last week. The first is the addition of item 18, adoption of contract and appointment of school police officer, Mr. Craw. The board had the opportunity to interview this candidate last week. The second new item is item number 19, appointment of assistant principal at North Allegheny Senior High School. The board also had the opportunity last week to interview Timothy Murray, who will join the district upon a favorable vote by the board and upon release from his current district. And the third new item is number 20, Memorandum of Understanding, Library Secretary, and this is to provide improved comprehensive library services to our students by adjusting our paraprofessional staffing to better serve our students.
Thank you, Ms. Britton Dozier. Does anyone have any comments on those items that would have been in the human resources report if we were not doing a consent agenda? Any comments? Ms. Blackburn.
Thank you, Mrs. Warner. The 2 comments I have to make are, one, I think we have to thank Mr. Harpster because I believe now all of our buildings have an officer, and I'm thrilled, especially with everything that's been going on in the world. It makes me feel much more secure, and we've been doing such a fantastic job, and it really isn't us doing the work, it is Mr. Harpster. So we welcome our latest officer, and we thank Mr. Harpster, and we want to keep our staff and students safe. So thank you for all of your work. And of course, we want to welcome our other new employee, which we're also excited about. And thank you so much for being here. And maybe you're going to have him say some words if he wants. And thank you. And it's nice to see Mr. Buchek with him.
Thank you, Mrs. Blackburn.
We're excited.
Yes, I believe I can predict the outcome of Mr. Murray's appointment. And so I'll give him a little heads up that we will be offering him the opportunity to come to the microphone after we have our vote. So, but I also saw Mr. Weniger with his hand up.
Yeah, one of the items in the HR folder is the retirement of a longstanding teacher, Tim Walkowiak. I think he's well-deserved after 32 years. Coach Walkowiak is one of those coaches that certainly, I had coming through the district. They absolutely broke the mold with him. He's one of those coaches that can have an impact, and it had an impact on me and all the other folks we played with coming through the district. I ran into him last year at the kickoff to the school event, and I knew he was going to retire soon. So I said, Tim, do me one favor. Try to pass on what it's like to be an NA Tiger, what it's like to be a teacher here at the district to the new ones that we're hiring, because you're one of the good ones. This is what we want to pass on, your legacy and what makes NA special. So it's well-deserved that he's retiring. It's a sad day for NA because we're losing a great coach and a great teacher. But I just want to extend a congratulations to him and thank you very much for everything he did for me and for NA.
Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else have any comments on the HR folder items? Dr. Highland, there was we also have some additional professional development that we'll be approving that was not on the agenda 2 weeks ago, and that was for 9 police officers to attend ALICE instructor training. Was there anything you wanted to add to that item?
No, the timing of that, the reason we didn't have it on the agenda earlier for the work session was that we were waiting to determine whether we were going to get 2 free spots. We were able to get those 2 free spots. Therefore, we wanted to make sure that it was on the agenda because the training actually starts the next voting meeting in October. It starts that day. So we wanted to make sure that we got it on the agenda prior to the training starting.
Excellent. Thank you. If there's no other, Mr. McClure?
Got one more since we have an update on the buildings and grounds.
That's right.
On the gas purchase. If anyone was really paying attention 2 weeks ago, there were still blanks in that contract, anticipating that there has been a downward trend in gas pricing. That kind of plateaued as a result of hurricane activity right now. So as a result, our consultant anticipates probably we're going to be in a better spot a year from now, and therefore recommended a one-year contract at a good price, but still they were hoping it would drop a little bit more. So it's be just a 1 year rather than multi-year.
Thank you, Mr. McClure. Dr. Simkovic, do you have any comments or questions?
I do not.
All right, and seeing no more in the room, then I believe we are ready for the vote.
The vote is open. Dr. Simkovic?
I vote aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, Mrs. Blackburn. The vote has closed and every item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we move on to our special reports by the board. Oh, thank you so much, Mrs. Blackburn. Mr. Murray, we are so excited that your appointment had passed unanimously, and we are so thrilled to have you here this evening. We all had the opportunity to meet with you 2 weeks ago, and we were thrilled to have a discussion with you and are excited to welcome you to North Allegheny. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you all. Really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you to the board. Thank you, Dr. Highland, Mr. Greenman, Mr. Buchek. Super excited to join such a prestigious district. Since moving to the Pittsburgh area 8 years ago, I've heard nothing but positive, great things about this district. And it's certainly a great career move for me to be able to join such a strong team. And I'm eager to get to Nash and get to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Murray. Now we will move on to our special reports by the board. We'll start with our first is our legal counsel report, which you submitted electronically, correct?
Correct.
Okay, excellent. Then we can move on to our Citizens Advisory Committee report and our North Allegheny Foundation report. Dr. Simkovic.
The Citizens Advisory Committee is comprised of 20 excellent members this year. Our first meeting will be on October 14th. Earlier today, we did hear the North Allegheny Foundation report, and I'm very proud of the work that they're doing.
Thank you, Dr. Simkovic. Mrs. Blackburn, the A.W. Beatty Career Center report and the legislative report.
Thank you, Mrs. Warner. First, I want to mention our Hall of Fame. We have a banquet coming up. It's the day before homecoming, October 17th at 6 p.m. at the Chadwick. Anybody who is interested in attending, we have 13 inductees plus 4 special honor inductees. And I'm saying this all from memory because my typed up sheet isn't on here. But I hope that people will join us. It should be a fabulous evening. With the A.W. Beatty Career Center, we did have a meeting last week. North Allegheny, we have not had the most students there for several years, but we finally do again. So North Allegheny has the most students attending the A.W. Beatty Career Center this year. I'm thrilled over that because we all know that the trades are very, very important and college is not for everyone. So this is fantastic. We have so many students going there. We are still looking at putting on an addition because the numbers just continue to increase, not just for our school district, but for all school districts. So that's something we're looking at doing. Last, I'm going to throw out another little thing. I used to have the transportation folder, but we don't have that anymore. So I'm just going to mention last year, at this time, the first month of school was very, very rough on all of us. I don't think we've ever had so many complaints on transportation as we did last year, and it made it a very, very rough start. And this year, things have just been really fantastic. They really, really have. And I think we have to give a little shout out to Scott Mergen because we hired him this past year, and suddenly we seem to have bus drivers. We have the routes going, kids are arriving in school on time, and best yet, they aren't on the bus as long, which was a directive that the board gave. We wanted, that was our number one complaint, is that people were on the bus too long. And he has really chopped away quite a bit of time on the routes. And so that's something the entire district truly appreciates, that you were able to do that for our kids. So thank you very much. And that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Blackburn. So you didn't have anything legislatively?
Oh, the only thing that there is federally, they are looking at putting mandates on cell phones for school districts, and they haven't decided whether they're going to just allow the states to decide for each state, or whether it's going to be, the federal law may just say all states have to enact their own law, or they could say, here's what the law is. We don't know what it's going to be, but they have said that federally they are going to put some type of a mandate in. We just don't know yet, but that's really the only news legislatively. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Blackburn. And I just wanted to, unfortunately, I was unable to attend the Beatty meeting last Thursday, so I'm thrilled to hear that NA has the most students. And I agree with you that the college is not the path for everyone, but I do also want to mention that many people that go to Beatty do go on to college, depending on what program they're in.
Absolutely.
So I don't want people to assume that if you go to Beatty, that college is no
Absolutely.
longer an option. It just gives you more options.
And it a lot of times can give you a big scholarship to go to college. We've gotten fabulous scholarships for our children coming out of Beatty and continuing on in their education. So it's a great avenue for that. I absolutely was not implying anything. I was just saying it's a great place to go for everyone.
I completely agree. That concludes our special reports. And so now we will move on to speakers on non-voting items. We have 3 pre-registered speakers. Each of them will receive 5 minutes at the microphone. When you come to the microphone, please share your name and your address. And our first speaker this evening is Jackie Love.
Jackie Love, and I live at 1849 Pioneer Drive.
Go ahead.
Is my time start now?
Once you start, yes, go ahead.
Good evening, school board and everyone here. I'm a parent of 4 students in the North Allegheny School District. I'm here to express my concern and the concerns of other parents on Pioneer Drive and Settlers Walk who have the same safety concerns resulting from the elementary bus stop consolidation. I am aware that the district had a task of determining the transportation inefficiencies. Tonight, I am focusing on the elementary bus stop consolidation and the safety concern. The consolidation eliminated 583 elementary bus stops across all 7 schools. 86 bus stops were eliminated for the 715 students that attend Franklin Elementary. Our section of the housing plan in Settlers Walk that rides bus 72 has 219 homes, approximately 35 students riding our bus. Prior to this school year, Pioneer had approximately 4 bus stops for the elementary students. For this school year, the Transportation Department removed all the bus stops on Pioneer Drive. The current route has only 3 bus stops, none on Pioneer. For comparison, also on our route, the Sturbridge plan has 124 homes, approximately 22 students with 4 bus stops. Our safety concerns with those changes, multiple families on Pioneer Drive are now resorting to driving to the Homes and Settlers bus stop or directly to school due to the increased walking distance. The youngest may now have an 8 to 10 minute walk. Some of these students may now cross 2 to 3 streets to walk to their bus stop. Kindergartners through 2nd grade rely on an adult to help them cross the street. Some of these students may, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, 10 years is the recommended age for kids walking to the school or bus stop alone. This puts a child in either the 4th or 5th grade. Younger kids could run the risk of encountering potential dangers like distracted drivers or adult predators. The American Academy of Pediatrics state children often do not have the cognitive, perceptual, and behavioral abilities to negotiate street traffic independently, including vehicle backover injuries, which are the vehicles backing up into children in the driveways. A sidewalk should not heavily be seen as the primary safeguard for the extended walking distance for the elementary students. That is deceiving. Parents are aware of their neighborhood's driving patterns and ongoing speeding concerns. The Academy of Pediatrics found that in 2020, 81 child pedestrians ages 0 to 14 years old died in incidents in driveways or private lots. With the overflow of students now at this Holmes Settlers bus stop, there is extra vehicular traffic that now exists at that intersection that didn't before. On any day, especially garbage day, the line of sight and visibility of the smaller students for the walk to and from the bus stop has been compromised. I see students crossing in the middle of the street not looking. I have a video of this happening as of yesterday. This bus stop at Holmes and Settlers now has an average of 25 students due to the elimination of the Pioneer bus stops. I observed our bus route, our other bus stops average 4 to 8 students per stop. Comparatively, that is a significant difference. Also presented to Dr. Hyland and Mr. Mergen, the degrees of heaviness our students carry for their book bags. Fifth graders may be carrying 12 to 20 pounds daily, plus an instrument. My first grader's book bag averages 9 to 10 pounds daily. My first grader's book bag contains her iPad, folder, library book, lunch, and water bottle. Dr. Hyland agreed when I handed him her book bag last Friday that her book bag was heavy. When I asked him if he wanted to carry it for her, he said that's her job to carry her book bag, not mine. While I would normally agree with him on this, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends a backpack weigh no more than 5 to 10% of a child's weight. That would make my daughter's everyday book bag too heavy for her by 5+ pounds. So considering all the concerns that are significant safety issues that we believe need to be addressed, not to mention weather conditions, rainy days like today cause more congestion at the bus stop and now at Franklin. Snowy, icy winter weather conditions will force our students to walk in the plowed streets when sidewalks aren't shoveled and de-iced along the route. So is there enough time to even add the Pioneer bus stop back in? The answer is yes. Bus 72 is sitting at Blueberry Park at least 15 to 20 minutes prior to departing for the elementary route, about 8:22 a.m. Our bus arrives on school on average at 8:47 a.m. every day. Students are not permitted off the bus until 8:50 a.m. The families understand that the task set forth by Dr. Hyland to consolidate the stops was an action that was needed to help improve the efficiency of transportation for our district. We value the time that the transportation department
30
has
seconds.
taken to achieve the goal. However, in hindsight, the removal of all the Pioneer stops for the sake of consolidation has become a legitimate safety concern for our youngest population that use the stop, as well as the vehicles that drive nearby. We ask that you request again, since the route has adequate time and available and the need is there, at least one bus stop you added back to this bus route for our students on Pioneer Drive. We appreciate your concern in looking at this for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Love. Our next speaker is Ursula Lessig.
Good evening. My name is Ursula Lessig, residing at 8832 Maple Street. I'm a North Allegheny graduate, and I have twin daughters attending middle school at North Allegheny. I'm here this evening to share my children's school experience to bring forward the need for inclusive education in classrooms versus segregated support classrooms. I have twins that enter kindergarten at North Allegheny from therapeutic preschool. Prior to going into their first grade year, I brought to the IEP team new evaluations, assessment reports, and their service providers to continue the conversation about the support they would need to access their education. That reevaluation process takes time, and it took a bit more time as some of the assessments were conducted with the wrong twin. Happens every day. While waiting for the reevaluation results, one twin had itinerant service, support within the general education classroom, and the other had learning support within the segregated classroom. The twin that was in learning support was the happy twin, the social twin. She was the one that would bring friends over to her and her sister in preschool and kindergarten and all other environments. Throughout the school year, she became more and more despondent. She often cried going to school. She begged to go downstairs to be with her sister. downstairs being the general education classrooms. It was during the reevaluation meetings months later that I learned that my daughter was the only first grade student in learning support. And on occasion, she would be working with an older grade level male. This was truly a turning point for me. It took until March of that school year to come to agreeable IEPs, with me bringing service providers, advocates, and the executive director of Peel to the IEP table. She conducted the supplementary aids and services toolkit herself. The SAS toolkit was used to brainstorm supports that would have my children in general education with push-in supports versus being segregated to support classrooms and having pull-out services. Then COVID hit and the IEPs were never implemented. While North Allegheny was delivering FAPE, I have to ask, at what cost to this first grade child, my daughter? While I'm keenly aware this was not a deliberate negative action taken, the isolation, inability to successfully integrate into general education, the feelings of inequity, the pain of not belonging are her foundational education experience. And this trauma continues to inform her and her twin sister today, being sixth graders. This is the why of my fierce advocacy for my children's education to be in the least restrictive environment in their community school. It should be yours as well. And this is the why of my ask to school teams since that experience, with questions which include how many students are in the classroom, what are the grade levels, and what is the gender breakdown? Surely you can understand my why after learning about my daughter's experience. It's our understanding that 25% of the North Allegheny School District student population have IEPs or 504s. Since 2018, there have been 5 individuals assigned to the Student Services Director or Special Education role, as well as months with the role being vacant. We are hopeful that after 6 years, there is finally stability in this role in this department. We're calling for transparency as to what the continued work on inclusive practices is, which is mentioned in the Readiness for School report. We are asking for actionable goals related to inclusion to be foundational to the execution of the strategic comprehensive plan. Forward movement to inclusive education in classrooms needs encouraged and supported, and we have the people here to do it. And this is needed in order to prepare all students for success in a changing world. Lastly, I brought for each one of you this publication, Achieving Inclusion, Strategies for Creating Inclusive Classrooms for All Students, a 2023 publication developed by Peel, Inclusive Schooling, and the Pennsylvania Developmental Disabilities Council. Thank you for your time this evening. We trust that you will keep this conversation going and continue doing the great work North Allegheny is doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lessig. If you want to give them to Ms. Weidman, she can ensure that we all receive them.
Thank you.
Our third pre-registered speaker this evening, it is a group, a family, I believe, Rich, Niru, and Nick Canciello.
Hi, I'm Maggie Race, and I'm with Sarah Educational Services. And I project pretty well. I am with Nick, I'm his motor coach. I'm going to let him take the lead. Please feel free to ask any questions that you might have. You're going to see me switching some words. Here, you go, somebody. Okay, no further ado, go ahead. I am I am beyond I'm beyond blessed. Keep going. I'm beyond blessed to P, to be. Here. I'm beyond blessed to be here today. I tell you, I want to thank NASR for our I want to thank NA for rescuing me from silence. No one, good. No one, good. No one, good. G-A. No one gave me a chance till now. I won't let you, I won't let you down. I will aid you. I will aid you. I will advocate for those with autism. I-N-O-U-R, empowered. Okay, everybody. In our schools.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you to our staff. That was wonderful.
I would also too, if I could just name, he's been coming to NAI now for past couple weeks in the morning and hanging with some of his peers and some of the teachers. So if you can just tell somebody just one thing, and then we'll let you go. Just one thing about what you've liked so far being back in NAI. Go ahead. Good. No. You. Good. You. Yes. T. No question. M-E-A-N, means, good. No question means, yep, you're good, good, you're good. Let's do this one. No question means, good. You got it. M-O-R, more, good. Friends are the good. A-L, real, good, good, good. There we go. R. Real friends. Anything else? You're okay. Autism's a tricky little bugger, isn't it? Yeah, real friends. A, D, and R, D, good. A, L, C. Real friends and content. And I'm just so happy. Good. Good. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, everyone. It's opened up a new world for us for making this investment in our son and our family. And special thanks to Patty Kochek.
Thank you. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you.
That was our final speaker, pre-registered speaker. Do we have anyone else in the audience who would like to speak for 2 minutes? Mr. Harrison, you have a hard act to follow.
Good evening, John Harrison, 1473 Hedwig Drive, Ellison Park. Back a few months ago, we had the opportunity to hire a new director for the NA band. All I can say is you guys picked a heck of a great person. Emily Rickard has been awesome to work with, both as students, as parents, as chaperones, and as a representative of the district. We had the fortunate, really busy weekend, three shows in 48 hours from NA to North Hills to the Steeler game halftime show. If you haven't seen the videos, start looking around online. They're there. They're phenomenal. And there'll be more being posted shortly. Unfortunately, two of the people that shoot the video, one is myself. The other one is Miss Warner's husband, Randy, and we both have full-time jobs, and we probably have each over 1,000 photographs and video to go through to try and make something sensible of it. But all I can say is thank you for what you've chosen. And the only disappointing part was Dr. Highlands was at 2 out of the 3, and he did not show up at the Steeler game. I'm not sure why.
I was on the couch watching.
That sold out game.
But you had the band performing in front of 68,000 fans in the stadium. And as a parent, it was awesome.
30
So
seconds.
If you are not a parent and you have kids that are coming up in the band, become part of the organization, because it is a great group of kids, a great group of parents, and a great group of administrators running the organization. There's a lot of great things coming forward out of that group. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. My husband will appreciate the shout out. He would love for you to follow him. Do we have any more speakers on non-voting items? Seeing none, we move on to announcements and reminders. Do any board members have anything to share this evening? Mr. McClure.
I wanted to echo something that I think Mrs. Blackburn mentioned, and that was a thank you to the transportation team and the efforts this year. There, with these consent agendas, we don't have a lot of time to actually make comments during the votes and all that. So thank you to Mr. Mergen. And then this is the part where the old guy gets to say, hey, back in my day, the walk to school was indeed, I actually went and re-walked it this weekend, found out I was going a half a mile each way from kindergarten to 8th grade. No sidewalks, crossing a major highway. And we survived it. And it snowed sometimes. It was uphill both ways too. But my point is, Mr. Mergen, I think, has done an awesome job. The administration has done an awesome job. Sometimes we tend to be just maybe a little overprotective, and we understand that. I'll respect whatever decision the administration wishes to make on this matter and any other matters with the busing. But thank you to that team, because they've done an awesome job, and we've had a great start to the year.
Thank you, Mr. McClure. I agree. This transportation team has done a fantastic job. Also, and there is now a transportation lost and found. So if your child has lost anything on the bus, you can go to the webpage and see what has been found on our buses. So I thought that was a great and innovative idea, and appreciate the work that Ms. Bloomer is doing to make that happen. Anyone else have any comments this evening? All right, seeing none, I adjourn.